Bing bada boom, it is I, your favorite ASMR channel, Andre, now awake and ready to clean my room. I adjusted my microphone settings once again, so leave your feedback about whether or not it got better or worse. I'll keep on tweaking it until my voice sounds absolutely buttery smooth. Now moving on to the main topic of today, I am on my account to go and start the equipment guide series that many of you guys requested for the ship classes, starting with the battleships. Now this series will follow the same order as my tier list explanations, so expect to see the same similar schedule video release once more. I was thinking to myself of whether or not I wanted to go and make this all into one big video or divide it into many smaller videos. And I later ended up deciding to split them into smaller equipment videos because it allows me to keep a constant upload schedule, have more specialized reviews where I can go much more in depth about the equipment, showcase a couple of good ships found on the tier list and their optimal gear loadouts, show some notable maps where you can get the blueprints for the guns that I list, and finally, it allows the video to not be a whole hour long. And as a disclaimer, I am not covering the prototype guns that you can get from PR research right over here, because they are high rarity and they take a very long time to get. They're not really that big of an upgrade compared to the normal equipment, so if you do see a weird gun that I am not talking about, it's probably a prototype gun. Now with all that being said, let's start the equipment guide for the battleships. Let's go into dock real quick, and here is my fleet. Now for the battleships, I'm going to use Monarch as an example. And this is the first equipment, the main gun, and the first rule is, if they have a skill that is a barrage, and the barrage activates keywords every time the ship fires a salvo or when the main gun is fired, use a faster firing main gun. Now how can you check if your main gun fires faster? Well, you can click one of these guns right here, and as you can see, this one says 15.6 seconds per wave. That is actually one of the fastest, or if not the fastest, battleship main gun possible. Now, another amazing choice is the purple right here, the plus 10 410mm mounted gun. That is 2 seconds longer, but it has a much higher damage potential. Now, this is your overall best choice right now, and yes, it is purple, but it actually is your best overall choice. Now, you can get these from the purple/gold Japanese boxes. Hey, let me go over there for a 1 second. Let's go and see if I can pull some of them. Oh, whoops. Now, you can get them from the purple/gold Japanese boxes, as I just said, right here. And let's see if I can get one, even though I really don't need them. No, I do not. Well, anyway, you can also get them from stages 6-3. Well, once this loads in, you can go and get them from stage 6-3 right here. When you click this, as you can see right here, the 410mm mounted gun design. And also you can get them from stage 7-3 right here. Once again, you see the 410 mounted gun design, and all the way over here, if you're feeling crazy, if you want to farm stage 12-4, I mean, I've kind of farmed it myself, you can also get the 410mm mounted gun design from here. Now that is your overall best choice for a fast firing battleship that relies on when she fires a salvo to trigger her barrage. Now, if their skills do not include a barrage, or if their barrages are time-based instead of whenever they fire a salvo, you are going to want to get a slower firing gun that has a much higher DPS. So for instance, Suruga over here has a skill that states every 20 seconds there is a 70% chance. So the keyword here is 20 seconds. It does not rely on a salvo. So now we can go back to someone like North Carolina, for example, and since she has no skills that have a barrage that's triggered for every salvo she fires, we can go and use the best option for her, which is the triple 406mm Mark 6 main gun. Now the reason for this gun being much better is because of its much higher damage potential than the faster firing 410mm mounted gun. As you can see here, it's literally an extra 156 damage, because this is times 2 and this is times 3, so it's theoretically 1/3 extra damage in a very compact and accurate shot. Now this is easily the best for the subcategory of battleships, and you should definitely be trying to get this one. It's actually not too hard to get. You can get them from the United States boxes, and let me go back there for a second. Let's see if I'm lucky again. I mean, I could do a 10 pull, but you know what? Let's do it. So anyway, we can go and see that hopefully, wow, I don't get one, but we got some really good anti-air guns right here. Wow, this is really unlucky. Let me keep doing this until I get one. It should be coming up soon. Wow, my luck is complete garbage. One more time? Okay, never mind, my storage is too full. Well, anyway, you get the point. You can get them from the US boxes, or you could get them from all the way back here. Chapter 6, Stage 6-2, right here. As you can see, the triple 406. And also, right next to it, Stage 6-3. Once again, actually, Stage 6-3 is fantastic. You can get both the 410mm and the triple 406. So that's both of these really top tier guns for the Battleship main gun, right in this single stage. Very good stage to farm. Now, moving on to the auxiliary guns, let's go back to, let's go and click Jean Bart. So Jean Bart over here, as you can see, has a twin 152mm main gun. Now, if your battleship allows you to equip CL guns, such as this one, you should definitely be using them. They have a much bigger damage per shot, which is good for their role in one-shotting the suicide boats that go for your backline. Now, this is the best gun, the purple twin 152mm right here. And then there's other ones that are similarly in performance to them, as the Cleveland gun right here is very nice too. Now, you can get the twin 152mm from the Royal Navy purple and gold boxes. I'm not going to be doing those opening boxes anymore. And you can also get that very, very good auxiliary battleship thing from all the way back here in stage 4-3. Right here. Very nice. And then you can get them from stage 10-1 all the way over here. Now, this is definitely your best auxiliary equipment. You can also use something like the Belfast gun right here. It is similar performance. Oh, whoops! It has similar performance, and but it's a little bit more expensive to level up, obviously, since it's a gold. And the next best one up was the Cleveland gun, as I showed earlier, back here. The Cleveland gun right here, the twin 150mm main gun. You can get that one from Ironblood purple and gold boxes, as well as back here at stage 4-2. Well, you can also get them from stage 9-3 right here. And you can also get them back in 4-2 right here. You can get the Cleveland gun right here. That is your first and second place for the battleship auxiliary guns if they let you equip a cruiser, light cruiser gun. Now, some battleships, for some odd reason, do not let you equip a cruiser gun for their secondaries. Some of these ships include basically all of the United States battleships. So going back to North Carolina, you can see that I actually have a destroyer gun instead of a cruiser gun. Now, this will not be as good as the cruiser gun, since it has a much lower damage per shot, and it might let some suicide boats pass. But the best one for this slot in this case would be the ever so nice twin 127mm Mark 12 gun, because it gives you extra firepower and extra anti-air, which is fantastic for any kind of thing. This is also a very good destroyer gun too, so overall, if you get these guns, it's very worth farming. Now you can get that twin 152, the 127 Mark 12 from United States purple and gold boxes, and you can also get them from a couple of these stages, namely 5-1 right here with its gold, and you can also get the purple, which is also fantastic. You can get it from 8-1 right here. You can get that from, if you're feeling really nice, then you can also farm 10-3 as well as 11-1 right here. Now moving on to the anti-air gun slot, it doesn't really matter too much for the battleships, since for most of the game you're not really going to see any difference in anti-air unless you hit chapter 13. That's when anti-air gets serious, that's where everything gets serious, and you're probably going to cry. Well anyway, just slap on any of these anti-air guns. One of the best ones are the Roomba right here, the twin 113mm anti-air gun. This is a very solid gun overall, and you can definitely find it very easily in a lot of different stages. Now for auxiliary gears, use the black and white shells from core data as your primary source, as well. This is the best kind of thing that you can put on them. This is because the black shell over here gives a massive firepower boost right here for crit rate, and the white shell gives you extra firepower and hit. So this will massively boost your damage, and it's almost the best option for most scenarios. Now the best next option for auxiliary gears is the SG radar right here. Nagato has it. Now this is insanely useful every single time you'd ever do any kind of sortie, because it decreases your ambush chance by 12%, meaning that you are not going to be ambushed a heck of a lot less times than normal. It also gives very nice accuracy bonuses and evasion, so that's very good. Now also you can put down here, if I can find it, the fire control radar instead if you don't have the heavy shells yet from core data, and you can get this and it gives you extra accuracy plus a small firepower boost. Now you can definitely see how much what a difference is between these two. If you do have the top of the line super heavy shell, it gives you a massive firepower boost, probably 50-ish more firepower than if you just have a regular fire control radar. Now the other thing worth noting is a fire suppressor. This is if your battleships are dying. I would not really recommend it most of the time because you have so many better damage options, and as you know from my past videos, damage is definitely much more valued than tankiness in this game. Now there is one tiny little caveat in case you are a die-hard fan. That is, if you're on chapter 13, you might consider slapping on two of these bad boys right here, the high performance air radar. It has the same exact skill as the SG radar, except it gives you a massive 100% anti-air extra. This is amazing for taking out those amazingly damaging planes in chapter 13. Other than that, you don't really have to worry about putting that drone on, the high performance air radar, because just focus on the rest of the stuff that I mentioned earlier. Now, you might think to yourself, wait, what about the autoloader? Well, the autoloader is actually very bad, and you should probably not consider putting it on. It is only used for timing adjustment, and most of the time it barely makes a difference, because battles in this game are not that long. Putting an autoloader makes your battleship miss out on a lot of damage, since they could have had a black or white shell, an FC radar, or an SG radar. Now, right here, as you can see, it gives you barely any firepower, and this reload stat can be basically ignored for most of the time. Now, there are a couple of ships with special exceptions to their loadouts, and that is if they have a certain gun described in their skill, and most of the time you would end up wanting to use that gun for maximum performance of their ship. So for instance, for Jean Bart, you would see that she requires the quadruple 380mm main gun, which massively increases her damage right here, and this is her gun. Now this gun can be used for other ships, but it is mostly only good for Jean Bart. I've seen people use it on King George V, but most of the time it is only used for Jean Bart. Other people that are special exceptions include, as I mentioned just now, King George V, who can have this nice quadruple 356mm main gun to go and boost out her armament optimization thing. Now, this would allow her to get a lot more consistent damage, as I stated back in that tier list. Or if you want more damage, then you could actually trade out this quadruple 356mm gun for a more standard triple 406 Mark 6 gun. This will actually give more damage, even though this one says it will. This one's better. Well, actually, wait, this is the plus 10. So here, as you can see, this one shoots a lot. Well, this one actually will shoot slower because her quadruple 356 is massively buffed to like 10 seconds before the battle. But this one will definitely give much more damage. I personally am using this one because it's much more consistent, but if you want, you can test it out and see which one you like better. Now the last person that is an exception is Gangut, if I can find her from the new event. She's actually the best with her standard blue gun right here. This is because she has a very, well actually let's go over here because I didn't level her skill all the way up. She has, as you can see, the triple 355mm main gun. It increases her main gun efficiency by 80% and decreases her reload time for 35%. That is a humongous buff, and if you just keep her blue gun actually, she can perform fantastically for mid-tier, mid-game to early game stuff. Now, as with all that, that is basically going to wrap up the compact battleship equipment guide. Like and subscribe if you found this information helpful, and feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions that need to be answered. I will do my very best to reply. Ooh. Now the next equipment guide will follow in the same order as my tier list, as I said, and that will be the carriers. Now stay tuned, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.